we all have those people, the ones that just grind on you. They seem to just rub you the wrong way, but honestly, they're not doing anything wrong. And sometimes it's hard to put your finger on what is it about this person that just feels so irritating. These are the ones who challenge your patience, who poke at your insecurities, or seem to test your emotional limits by just existing. Like, it's not necessarily even a conversation you have. I'm going to talk to you about what I call sandpaper people. We're going to talk about how these are the best people in your life, whether it's a coworker, a hard to work with family member, or just a neighbor that just, oh gosh, irritates you. And you go, why am I so bothered? I want to tell you today that your sandpaper person is a gift because they are smoothing out something for you. So if someone's been getting under your skin, then this episode is a must listen for you. And even if no one's bothering you right now, listen, we're humans. Human relationships and interactions are complex. So you should still listen so that you know what to do the next time someone just rubs you the wrong way so you can stay in a place of confidence and kindness and power. Hey there, welcome to the Confidence Podcast. My name is Trish Blackwell, and I am your host. This is episode 662. We're talking about sandpaper people and how to grow from people who rub you the wrong way. Frustrating people can actually shape your confidence, sharpen your self-awareness, and soften your heart without letting them walk all over you. So we're going to dive into all of that today. I do want to give you a shout out. I'm just happy you're here. Of all the podcasts you could be listening to, you chose this one. And I honor your time. I show up every Tuesday. I want to make sure that every single week you are getting something really applicable to your life. And so always make sure you apply those takeaways. If you love the show and you haven't yet written a review, please do. And if you love the show and you listen, but you're not yet following, hit that follow button. That actually helps us in the unknown podcast algorithms to then be suggested to more people. So thank you in advance. If this show in any way has blessed you, encouraged you, inspired you, please share it with a friend, leave a review, and make sure you're following or subscribed. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. And the reason I wanted to do this episode is I recently, as many of you know, have been in Australia and New Zealand, and the trip was amazing. We were there for 5 weeks. My husband was there with us for the first half, and then the second half was just me and the kids. Just epic adventures. I'm still processing it all. It's been so great. I knew I needed to do this episode while I was there because there was a night that I was sick. I got very, very sick. And I was scrolling on Facebook, right? Which as we know, not necessarily a great high level habit to be scrolling, but it is what it is. And I found myself scrolling and I scrolled through an acquaintance of mine. And for some reason, her very positive, fine, good post bothered me. And I was like, whoa, Trish, what is wrong here? Because she's not doing anything wrong. She's lovely. You enjoy her. We like each other. Why am I so bothered? There's a tinge of jealousy. There's a frustration. And also in part, our energies are, we're great acquaintances, but also our energies don't necessarily align super on point, right? So I think all of that to be said is I went to bed feeling frustrated, but then more than anything, frustrated with myself for being frustrated by someone's post. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. How do I describe this type of person? Because they're not doing anything wrong. They're being themselves. And as you know, literally, my career is based on encouraging people to be themselves. If you don't know this about me, but my license plate actually says in French, sois toi, which means be you. Now, French people don't really say that, but I say it. I am so committed to celebrating people for being themselves, for not worrying what other people think. And here I am, like, irritated. I went, okay, I love that she's her. And I have a couple other sandpaper people in my life. I started thinking about this 3 to 4 people that I interact with that I like fundamentally. You guys, I like these people and they still rub me the wrong way. And I go, what is it about it? Sometimes it's that they are negative. Sometimes they complain. Sometimes it's just their personality is a little different than maybe who I prefer to spend time with. It's so interesting to ask yourself, what is it about this person that bothers me? And I'm not doing that to pick myself apart, but rather to be a mirror back to myself of there is something here for them to teach me. So let's first define a sandpaper person. So after I had that experience in Sydney from that scrolling, I was like, whoa, I really want to put a term to this. And so that is where I came up with this term, sandpaper people. Now, here's why it's good. A sandpaper person may rub you the wrong way for whatever reason, but over time, they actually are smoothing out your own rough edges. We go, well, I don't like how they irritate me. I want you to change that narrative and start being grateful for the way that they irritate you, because there's something in you that needs some smoothing out. So they either are triggering, frustrating, irritating, exhausting you, but it's actually refinement. And here's the truth. They're often not doing anything loud or wrong. They're, like I said earlier, they're literally being themselves, and we celebrate that. But then if your reaction feels intense or unnecessary, that's where I want you to see it as an invitation for your own reflection. So if we define it, solidify this definition, it's an individual who constantly or consistently really irritates, challenges, or frustrates you, not because they're toxic, not because they're a bad person, not because they're rude, but because their personality, behavior, or energy rubs against ours in a way that creates emotional friction. So like sandpaper, they can wear us down, or if we allow it, they smooth out our edges. So that's where you have the choice. Either let this person wear you down or decide that this person is good in your life. I have a lot of people in my one-on-one practice that I coach with, and we often find that sandpaper person in their work environment. And it might be a coworker, somebody who's flying under the radar and not doing enough, maybe a really pressing boss, but learning how to go, this person, rather than dread the Monday meeting with them, this person's a gift to me. This person's a gift to my growth. So other examples, that might be the overly confident coworker that makes you feel insecure, the mom friend who always has a humble brag, the person who reminds you of someone from your past. For a moment, I want you to think about, who are my sandpaper people? And the reason why we wanted to name it, and I want you to be aware of who is that person in your life, is it helps create an emotional distance and perspective. So what that does is it gives us the gift of turning frustration into observation. And that's where I was in Sydney when I realized, wow, this is a sandpaper person. And there was emotional friction on my end. And I used it to turn that frustration into observation. What is she mirroring to me that I need to change in myself? This is a personal invitation to change something within myself versus change who she is. I love who she is, but it doesn't change that she can still be sandpaper to me. So instead, here's why it's a good thing. So instead of internalizing their behavior or reacting defensively or being irritated, or you label it in a way to help you recognize that their role in your life might be actually good for you, not to ruin your day, but to give you growth. What this does is it gives you language to that experience of like, I don't know what it is about that person, but they're hard to work with. But the truth is, we have a lot of people in life. Life is a big group project in so many ways. So we are always going to have people who maybe aren't our first pick to work with, or who aren't ideal, or who are difficult, but they're not toxic, but they can be sandpaper. And so it's going to give you this tool for emotional growth. It's less personal, more observational when you can identify it as versus of like, oh, that person bothers me, to, hey, I found my sandpaper person. And so a reflection question for you is, where do you feel reactive? Who is it that pokes your insecurity? And they might be stirring up jealousy. It might be you get bothered by what they talk about, that you're irritated at the way they gossip or how negative they're, or they're too happy. I am some people's sandpaper person for sure. I am super happy, very high energy, very intense. And I have to accept that for some people, I'm not the right fit. But where do you find yourself getting poked? Because that's where we want to go. That's where there is growth for me. So a sandpaper person is going to reveal areas where you're still reactive, where you're still insecure, or even better, even this is hard for me to say, where you're still attached to external validation. And for me, as one person that I mentioned at the beginning, I think that is it's a trigger for, I realize there's still some small roots of attachment to external validation, even though I've spent 15 years uprooting those, right? It's a work in progress. I had 25 years of being very attached to external validation. And so I have to give myself grace, and I invite you to give yourself grace as you do your personal development growth to go, this is not an overnight thing. We have new neural pathways, new belief systems that we're integrating. All of that adds up and matters. So use it as a mirror, and then you can simplify the reflection by saying, why does this person bother me so much? And then use that once you identify what that is. Ask yourself, how do I want to grow from this? So if my person triggers my attachment to external validation, because there's a lot of humble bragging and a lot of showcasing, but she's not doing anything wrong and she's celebrating her children, and I love that. So what does it mean for me? Where are the roots of jealousy? Where is my external validation? Where am I creating unnecessary, here's what truth is, where am I creating unnecessary, insecure competition? Because that's not to my belief system anymore. I used to feel like I was competing all the time in life, but I don't, not anymore. So now it shows me, wow, there's still some more growth opportunity here to lean into staying in my lane, living my life to the fullest, and not worrying how other people live their lives. So what happens though is we do ourselves a disservice when we avoid sandpaper people. We start wondering and hoping, oh, hope they don't show up at work, or hope they're not at this event, or hope I don't see them post. Which, by the way, if it's something that bothers you on the internet, unfollow, right? Simple solution right there. We certainly can minimize it, but I want you to lean into these hard to deal with people and look at them with gratitude. I want you to, I've had my clients do this and they're like, please don't make me say this, but I'm going to invite you to do it. I'm thankful for, I want you to fill the person's name in the blank. I'm thankful for so-and-so in my life because they're helping me grow. They're in my life for a reason. I'm going to learn something about myself and learn how to work with somebody who's sandpaper to me. They're smoothing out my edges. But a mini strategy is to notice the reactivity. So we have a 4-part and alliteration here. Notice the reactivity. Name the person as a sandpaper person. Nurture the trigger. So I want you to ask yourself, what's unhealed here? What is still raw here? Is it, as we said, a need for external validation? Is it jealousy? Is it comparison and competition? Is it insecurity that you need to really process because that person makes you feel inferior, but they're not doing it? Remember Eleanor Roosevelt's quote, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. So this gives us growth opportunity to stop giving consent to these people to feel inferior. So I don't know how it plays out in your mind, but so you're going to name the trigger and ask yourself, what's unhealed here? Another way to ask that question is, how can I grow from this? And then we're going to neutralize the story. I want you to remind yourself that they are not the enemy. They are a gift. So again, it's notice the reactivity, name the person as a sandpaper person, nurture the trigger, ask yourself, like, why am I triggered? What is here for me to grow? How do I need to be smoothed out? And then neutralize the story. Stop making them the enemy. Stop being irritated, wasting negative emotional reactions. Even if you keep it to yourself, it's exhausting. Let's be honest. It's exhausting, it's distracting, and it distracts you from living your own life. So what does this mean for confidence growth? Remember this, true confidence comes from doing hard things. Confidence is not forged in moments of ease. It's shaped in friction of relationships or in the friction of pushing your comfort zone beyond what you feel comfortable with. That's the whole point. And so we become more confident the more difficult things we do. You become more physically confident as an athlete, the more challenging workouts you work through, the more competitions that you compete in that are hard or stressful. And you realize, wow, I'm capable of handling the stress. I'm capable of doing hard things. In the same way, we become emotionally confident by pushing the boundaries of how do we interact with people? How can I manage my emotions when I'm this unmanaged negative emotion that gets stirred up when I interact with certain people? I don't want to waste my energy in emotions that don't serve me, right? Every emotion is just an invitation for reflection. And so real confidence is grown from doing hard things. And some of this work that I coach on here in the Confidence Podcast It sounds so simple, right? You hear it on Tuesday, you're like, cool, cool, I'll apply it. And you're like, wait, oh, this is hard. The simple act of journaling consistently can be hard, or learning how to write affirmations. And if you don't know how to do some of that, by the way, I go into the show notes. I have all of my courses listed out there. They're incredible resources that are going to teach you. I've taken 15 years of my coaching expertise and put it into very, very easy to apply bite-sized courses for you. But what I want you to, your takeaway is every time you have emotional awareness and then you manage your emotion, and every time that you change the narrative about the way you're thinking about somebody, or even the way you're thinking about yourself, if you're reframing some insecurity, reframing your day, every reframe, every new narrative that you're able to construct is building and strengthening the reps of your confidence muscle. You are continuing to push the edge of your comfort zones. And when we do what I like to call, I just did actually an incredible workshop in the College of Confidence called Edge Expansion. When we expand the edge of what is possible, we increase the capacity of what we can do. And the level to which you can tolerate hard things in your life, emotionally hard things, physically hard things, relationally hard things, the level to which you can tolerate difficult things or discomfort, let's just call it discomfort, correlates with the level to which you have the capacity for success. So the higher your tolerance for discomfort, the higher your trajectory for success. And so when you are doing hard things, and the hard thing of growth, maybe the hard thing of habit change, the hard thing of habit consistency, boring results over and over and over create an extraordinary results and extraordinary success. But to be consistent in the boring takes discipline. It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to celebrate small wins when you want the big showy ones. And so the ability to do little things over and over and believe in your growth, believe in your personal growth. Maybe it's a weight loss change that's going to take a year, or maybe it's believing in a relational goal, or believing in what you're working towards financially, that you're getting out of debt, you're doing a debt snowball, but you also are building and have the goal to have $10 million within the next 15 years. I don't know what it is. It feels big. It feels very far away. Your ability to keep believing that what you do today matters will add up and has a massive compound effect that will take you so far. And so all of this discomfort, the discomfort of working with difficult people, is growth, is what's going to accelerate your confidence, and even better, y'all, improve and increase your social skills. Social confidence is tremendous in this world, and it opens up so many opportunities. It's opportunities for professional growth and development as a result of your social confidence, networking, improvement and increase, but also your social friendship circles matter. Being able to have strong human connection with others matters. And let's be honest, even the people we love are sometimes sandpaper people. We humans and human interaction can be really messy. So to know that even in the messy interactions, or the difficult to deal with people, or difficult to work with people, there's a gift in it. And that they are helping you learn how to interact with different types of people. And that is a skill that, if you leverage it and you have confidence in it, can take you very, very, very far. And I want to remind you of this. Look, we don't need everyone to like us. And you don't need to like everyone. These are the lessons we learn when we go to kindergarten, right? But these are lessons we have to remind ourselves in our 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s. You don't need everyone to like you. And you don't need to like everyone. In fact, people won't like you. You will be some people's sandpaper person, and that's okay. And that's okay. Give yourself the gift of not caring what people think. And if you really want to learn my process of how to stop caring what people think, my course, The Formula, it's called The Formula, Stop Caring What People Think, will teach you how to stop caring what people think in 5 days or less. I definitely highly recommend that. And then one quick shout out, if you are listening live, we have a course that is brand new, called Next Level Lab. We're taking sort of the theme of the College of Confidence, but it's the advanced version, so to speak. And it is a private 1 month sprint, right? It is going to be live coaching with me for 1 month. We're going live the month of August. So this week, if you're listening live, this is the only week you can sign up. I'm limiting it to 20 people. You can check it out at trishblackwell.com/NLL. So Next Level Lab. So trishblackwell.com/NLL. And we're picking one thing to do a hyper 30-day sprint on. And that's going to bridge the gap between an element of you that's a 1.0 part to 2.0. I've had a lot of feedback from so many listeners, so many of my coaching students and my members in the College of Confidence that say, I really want a program that's going to help me really, truly, not just learn about who I want to be, but activate it at the highest level. So this is an intense program. It's not going to be for everybody, but check it out. If it's for you, sign up this week. If you're listening live, not live in my future, and you missed it, check the website anyways, because my plan is that we're going to be continuing to do cohorts of this that we roll out 1 month at a time. So it will be exclusive. It is going to be limited. If you can get in now, get in now. As always, it is a greatest privilege to be a voice of encouragement in your life. Thank you guys for tuning in this week. Next week, we have an episode I'm very excited to record. I needed to sit on it a little bit. It's called Inconvenient Growth. We're going to talk about how to change the way you think about the inconvenient things of life, the irritating things that when life doesn't go right, when everything is going wrong, how to label it in a way that's neutral and open so that you can look at it. This is just inconvenient growth, and I'm a person who embraces inconvenience with a good attitude. Hey, I'm excited to be with you this week. Make sure you hit that follow, subscribe, and write a review if you haven't yet. It means the world to me. I'm excited to see you guys in the College of Confidence. And for those of you who are putting in, checking out the Next Level Lab, I'm excited. It's going to be incredible. Go out there today. Go be more of who God created you to be. Go be your fullest, most alive, vibrant self. The world needs people who are alive, who are passionate. And those two things come from the core of having confidence. The more confidence you have, the more passion will come out, the more of a difference you will make in this world, and the more vibrancy with which you will live. And that makes you a world changer and difference maker.